By Naga Army.
Nation is loud! Frozen! Up!
Honorable Kilonser, all ranks and files of Gprn and Nscn Naga Unification, from the bottom of our heart, warmly welcome all the leaders of different organizations, led by leaders from Naga Hoho, leaders from NTC, leaders from Nagaland GB Federation, NBCC, Forum for Naga Reconciliation, Naga Mothers Association, Naga Student Union Federation, RO ENSF, ENPO, dignitaries, NBCC leaders, church leaders from different denominations who are sitting here in the dais and wherever you are. Nagaland tribe leaders, GBs, village chief, councils, church leaders of different neighboring villages, media fraternities, ladies and gentlemen. आज विषय मौन पर उल्लेखना खुशी इनिका एकदम बिजी स्केड्यूल थकले भी अपनी खान इनवाइट करान शिना ये ते आइसे अमी खान नागा यूनिफिकेशन कुरा नाम पर एकदम बिजी थकले भी नागा नेशनल पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स इनवाइट करान शिना किमान आये लोचे एकदम डांगोर रेस्पेक्ट अपनी खान के दिया से आगे दिया अपनी खान वेलकम नौकरा तो अपनी खान आमी खान इक्या से इतो प्राय लास्ट एकदम स्पेशल रखता है एकदम खुशी पर आरो वेलकम करूबले थका तो the family members of martyrs who laid down their life for the cause of this Naga unification. On this day, in the year 2017, many leaders, national leaders and workers from different Naga political groups came together and formed this Naga Unification. And today, we are celebrating the 17th years of Naga Unification. We are blessed and honored to have you all here this morning. Bishamon pra, khushi pra ulai kena, apni kan leaders, Naga leaders kan, ami mention kurbo para na para, sob ahi kena chehra dekhibo para nimiti, khushi ase. Naga Unification government to Naga leaders, especially Nagaland GBs and DBs forum pra initiate kurigena unification process kuruse, completely unified kurubo na parlepi ki kurigena aise isor morom pra, ajini ka apni kan ke lu kurubo para to bisimon dangro hoise, aro Naga nimiti aro Naga la public kotha loi kena loi jabo karani. With these few words, I conclude my welcome note. Enjoy the rest of the program. Kuknalim.
Ito joldi solution to anile phal. Ekda football khila mano gorobati hoi jay to. Amma kante to na pare. Nagaland na thakya ase gunai to. Sob ase Nagaland kintu develop goriba na pare because of this political issue. Ito bara ami kobole thaka to khata de. Moram bara, we are with you. We are with anyone who fights for the Nagas of Nagaland. First, Nagas nationhood, it is a good concept. Nagas outside Nagaland, they are our brothers. It's a big family. But let us first set Nagaland in order. Nagaland thaka manokhan American to Silgori na to bichide Arunachal haibina, Manipur haibina, Assam haibina, Burma haibina. American majority mil nai. Our house is not in order. How can we bring these people? Ito metakan pa haibole welcome. They should take their own stand. They should also fight and join us. Not that Nagas of Nagaland will carry everything for them and feed them, give them spoon feeding. No. Ito para morom para khate de. Ito goase ito monda rakhegena yadi aha khan, Amar national workers khan keman dangoria se ito khan. You try, you strive without ceasing. Stop no korigena ito momentum logena. Joldi Naga political solution to anile. Some Naga mano khushi hobo. Apne ke ashirwad babo. Esor khushi hobo. Thank you.
Solidarity message, 17th Unification Day, 22nd November 2024, Khehoyi. Respected His Excellency, the President General Retired MB Neokpao Konyak, Honorable Kilonser Alezo Venuh, officials and functionaries of the Government of the People's Republic of Nagaland, and ladies and gentlemen, the Forum for Naga Reconciliation joins the Gprn and Nscn in marking this day of abiding significance for your government. More than ever, at this moment, the Naga people are faced with mounting challenges, both from within and without. This we must reason and act together. Our historical situation is allowing Naga society squandered by cultural and political lack, and now Nagas can no longer provide our national rights to be determined according to the careless tongues of unprincipled political scammers, nor domesticated individuals under the guise of national workers. The sacred Naga National Trust belongs to all the Nagas and not only to a few. FNR hopes that the Nagas will be matured enough to be more perceptive and understanding of the world around us. To save ourselves from the chasm we are staring at, we must leave behind the current personal and group policies and change the political order among the Nagas. This change has to come through the inclusive democratic process of Naga political groups and the Naga public for defining and living out the Naga nation without further delay. Nagas require transformed and competent leaders with new ideas and vision for moving ahead collectively. Seemingly divided as it looks, what binds the Naga people together is the essence of Naga nationalism, of Simon Commission, the Declaration of Naga Independence, and the Naga plebiscite. This is the hope for every individual on the land of the Nagas. Therefore, this is also a call for us to remain steadfast by embracing all Nagas without borders. The Gprn Nscn has rendered its support to the FNR for Naga Reconciliation since its inception in the year 2008, and we remain grateful for this trust. It is our hope that at this time of urgency, the Gprn Nscn will be intentional, pave wider avenues, and provide the space for change to take place. God's abundant blessing to you all. Kugnalin, Forum for Naga Reconciliation.
Naga Majudebi, Eastern Side Daga, Sopra, Idonishana Tangor Tin, Naga Unification 17th Naga Unification Day, Yat Kuradia, Karuni Kushipa, Operte, Abdanke, Aman Laga, Moram, Salam, Sopke, Janetiase. Kisade Najabo mi Amagan Eastern Kan FND to Kili Karuni, Jaise Gwele Abna Sop Jani Ase Amagan Naga Political Te Hadna Choe Kam Guri Jabo Karuni Partibi de Kholo Lage Space Te Jaise Partibi Kan Aman bi likhabra tibo lage pathibite ki lagi ase ito karuni aman iskan aman ekline hoy amar Naga national words kan bi milaible kotha pura ito kan sob ake jabo karuni do pathibite aro amar Naga kan thaga jaga de Shanti থাকিব লাগে ইতো কারণে আমার সব মিলাই বলে বেশিবার কথা করি এসে 2 নম্বরে নামব্রাহি নহয় কিন্তু নাগা মানু মন মিলাই বলে কাম একটা হই বলে ভাবনা একটা হই বলে ঘুরি যাইলে হি ভাবনা বুঝব আমার লাগা আজকে কাম কি আছে এতো কারণে আমার লাগা স্থান তো এটাই আছে আমার গান একলা ভাবনা করা নহয় দো ENPO is from grassroots level আমার organization তো নাগা ন্যাশনাল লাগা কাম দে কিমান কোবাল পিয়া গ্রুপ পিছু যাইছে আমার খান ফ্যাকশন পিছু যাইছে কিন্তু আমার নাছারি বলে আজকে কিনা ঘুরি যাব পাবলিক কিনা শান্তিতে থাকিব এতো কারণে আমার মিলাই বলে কাম করি যা লাগা আজিবি আমার ENPO ওপরা ইটোহি আপিল কৰিব মন আছে আৰু কাম কৰিব লাগে আমাৰ খান একটা হইলেহি আজকে কাম করি যাতে ঈশ্বররা বি আমাকে ব্লেসিং দিব নহলে ভাবনা আলাক কথা আলাক হইলে তো আমার ব্লেসিং নাপাব নাকি আজি ইতো নিচিনা 17 Naga Unification Day celebration kura 3 day একটা গ্রুপই নহয় আমার সিভিল সোসাইটি খান বি সব মিলাই বলে নিজের কেপিসিটি পরা নাম প্রায় নয় বলে নাগা লাগা ভাবনা তো কিনকা পৌঁছাব ইতো সব মানুষ মতব করি বলে মন একটা হইল বলে কাম করি যাইলে ঈশ্বররা বি মাঝে মতব করিব আর তাদেহি ৰাস্তা আছে ইটো কাৰণে আজি আমাৰ ইষ্টন ENPO পৰা ডাঙৰ দিন 17 Naga Unification দিন celebration কৰা হিচাপ দে বেছি দেৰি নাযায় বোলে কালি প্ৰসংটো আহিব দিন দে তো নাগা বোলে কোৱাটো সব মিলাই বোলে ইটো পৰা বি ডাঙৰ জাগাতে মন মিলাই বোলে কাম একটা বোলে ভাৱনা পहुঁচাব কাৰণে আশা কৰা আজি আপোনালোকে আপিল কৰি আছে থেংক ইউ
Ato Kilonser President Bra Rana Pio Raji Pio ekdom village level tak. Thank you dear sir, Nagaland GB Federation Bra. Your part you have done. Parishe Parigina 17 November the agree position. Ula dise. Now that issue has been 2018 the India the boat house Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha the it will lay down kurishi. Aro boat house bra okay go on. Solution panai lobi. Parliament the fasla kuri dise. Itu garni governor of Nagaland, the then governor of Nagaland, R.N. Ravipra, 2020 Nagaland Legislative Assembly, Nagato has concluded. Officially declared. Kam Pariside, Uthini Amar former, Speaker, NTC President Coalition, Nagalaga history. Kot ahigena harai di bole iman kurses kindu kuranai but this time Naga history Delhi te rakhi dise finish. Now civil society revolutionists kimana sa unification under the your job has done. It is now civil society laga kamas. It on behalf of GB Federation, appeal kuratu civil society kat will why not amakan jagena delite government of India logo time signing ceremonial kita kurubo itu do that duty itu kurubo itu civil society laga kabazade itu hiase government of India question. Oh no, the ball is in the court of Nagas. They have to unite. Milai kira hile aji raja overnight to be among the ready fast la kurubule. Ready ase. Government of India iman tiya sato. Itu karoni. Oh, unification. Itu penasya bisa successful kurgi ahisye. Aro one more. একটা কাম করব লাগে কিমান ফ্যাকশন আছে মেন স্ট্রিপ দি জয়েন কৰি লব মিলাই লব okay if you don't sacrifice your rank in file your auto Kilonser your presidency your collective Kilonser eto compromise নকৰব গলে you just said that ইনিগা থৰগিনো বইবি but we say all the faction please cooperate as one Naga political issue. Tate ahi jabi hoile eta civil society kan apnangal logo appeal kuri ase milai lobi even if you don't want to sacrifice your rank in file you just remain bukibi like as NNPG nije jagati nijo rank and file bukikina Naga laga issue toile milai kena agree position panai issue do same as that ito nije rank to loigena tadi bohibi kintu solution garni civil society ka naman milai kena kotha kurubo and on behalf of the Nagaland GB Federation I appeal to the revolutionists faction logo appeal kuri ase ab dangan bi civil society for the early solution আপনার লোক এপ্রোচ করার সময় আপনার মিলাই কেন সলিউশনটো জলদি লৈ ল'ব লাগে এনেকাই দিস ইজ এ ইউনিফিকেশন এটোতো ইউনিফিকেশন আছে তো আৰু 17 years we are observing অলপ আগে যাব লাগে ইউনিফিকেশন আগে যাব লাগে outsider of unification bahar de thaka kan be we will seek we will approach them to join in a NNPG working committee ininga kurugida government of India logo joldi solution loile bhal kento itu hisab di jaile asul unification asul tu matlab korbo lage kento unification kurisile olop multiplication ulaisya itu unification bra faction bishi ulaisya inika no kurubi inika kurugina man sob milai gena government of India logo for early solution civil society or revolutionist hat milai gena ekta kurigena joldi solution loi lobo bile iman kotha bre apnan sob logo sharing kuri ase thank you
এতিয়া আমি কান টাইম পঞ্চিছে নেকি আমি কান কোন জায়গাতে কোতে পৰা আমি কান গিৰি যাইছে কি নিমিতে আমি কান লাগা গলটো ইতে তাক ৰিয়েলাইজ কৰা নাপাৰি কেনে এনেকা থাকি আছে আমি কান নিজৰকে সুধিবলৈ লাগা আমি কান টাইম পঞ্চিছে নেকি কৈ কেনে আমি কান সব ভাবনা কৰিবলৈ লাগা আমি কান নাগা মানুহ কানটো নেশ্যনেল ৱৰ্কাৰ্ছটো বেছি আছে কৈ আছে হ'লে বি উচা পৰা বি আমি কান genuine patriot আৰু আমি কান genuine revolutionary ideologue তো থাকিছে না নাই আমি কান সব খ্রিস্টান তো কোৱা আছে আমি কান preacher খান বি বেছি আছে missionary খান বি বেছি আছে ওলেবি আমি কান উসা পৰাবি true disciple of Christ ইটো discipleship তো আমি কান থাকিছে না থাকা নাই আমি কান হি নাগা মানুহি আমি খান নেশ্যনেল ৱৰ্কাৰ খান হি নিম চিম লাইফ আমি খান লাগা ষ্টাইল আমি খান হি বদলি কৰিব না আমি খান লাগা বেনাৰ আমি খান লাগা মতো নাগালেণ্ড ফৰ ক্ৰাইষ্ট ইটো হি আমি খান চেঞ্জ কৰিব লাগিব আমি খান নেশ্যন বিল্ডিং কৰি আছে না আমি খান নেশ্যনকে ডিষ্ট্ৰয় কৰি আছে নিজৰ নিমিত্তে কাম কৰি আছে না নিজৰ লাগা লাইফ পি দি কেনে নেশ্যনকে বাচাব কৰি কেনে কাম কৰি আছে আমি খান এইটো সব খালি নেশ্যনেল ৱৰ্কাৰ্ছ একলা নহয় চিভিল ছ'চাইটি NGOs চাৰ্জেছ একলা নহয় পাব্লিক পি সব মিলাই কেনে আমি খান কি পৰা গিৰিছে কি পৰা নপঞ্চা হৈছে কি নিমিত্তে আমি খান এতিয়া তাক আমি খান লাগা গলটো টাৰ্গেটটো নপঞ্চি কেনে থাকি আছে আমি খান সব ভাৱনা কৰি কেনে আমি নহ'লে নহয় আমি নপাৰিলে মানুহকে পি পাৰিবলৈ নিদিব আমি খাব পৰা নাই ক'লে আল্লাহকে পি খাব নিদিব আমি হি 49 সিটে নবহিলে তো আল্লাহকে তো বহিবলৈ নিদিব কৈ কেনে এনেকা আমি খান লিডাৰ্ছ খান ৱৰ্কাৰ্ছ খান পৰা বেছি দেৰি এনেকা নিজৰ নিমিত্তে হি জৰ পৰা তাকত পৰা এনেকা খাৰা কৰি অহাৰ পৰা নাগা মানুহটো বেছি বাঙি আহি যাইছে নেকি এইটো নিমিত্তে আমি খান পি এতিয়া এনেকা ইউনিফিকেশ্যন ডে এনেকা দিনতে শুৰু কৰি কেনে এইটো দিন পৰা শুৰু কৰি কেনে আমি খান নিজৰ পৰাই নপঞ্চা নিমিত্তে লিডাৰ্ছ পৰা নপঞ্চা নিমিত্তে নাগা মানুহটো দুখ পাইছে নেকি কৈ কেনে আমি খান লিডাৰ্ছ পৰা টানি কেনে আমি খান নিম চিম বদলি কৰি কেনে আগে যাইলে ভাল হ'ব নেকি কৈ কেনে এইটো বি ভাৱনা কৰি আছে আমি খান সাতান লগপি ঈশ্বৰ লগপি ইকি লগ বেৰাব কয় আমি খান 10 মান লগ ইকি লগ থালিতে খাব 10 মান লগ ইকি লগ বিছনাতে ঘুমাব আৰু নাগা লাগা কামতে বি আমি হি মালিক আছে কৈ কেনে কোৱা মানুহ বেছি থাকি যাইছে আমি খান বেছি ডবল ষ্টাণ্ডাৰ্ড থাকি যাইছে এইটো পৰা আমি খান পিছে কৰা খান বি ডিসঅৰেণ্ট হৈ যাইছে পাব্লিক লাগা ছাপৰ্ট বি কমতি হৈ যাইছে আৰু আমি খান লাগা 10 মান পৰা বি আমি খান কি হিচাপ নকৰা বি থাকি যাইছে হ'লে বি ইটছ নেভাৰ টু লেট আমি খান পৰা কমজোৰ থাকিলে বি নাগা লাগা ইছ্যুটো জিনিউন আছে আমি খান আজি নপাৰি কেনে ছাৰ দিলে বি ফিউচাৰ জেনেৰেশ্যন পৰাটো পাৰ্চিউ কৰি থাকিবলৈ আছে এইটোৰ পৰা আমি লাগা ইণ্টাৰেষ্টটো আমি খান ছেট এছাইড কৰি কেনে নাগা লাগা মঞ্জুৰ ফিউচাৰ জেনেৰেশ্যন লাগা হি কি জেগাতে ৰাখি দিব আমি খান লাগা প্ৰায়ৰিটি তাতে ছেট কৰি কেনে Itia government of India hobi, Myanmar hobi, Naga laga issue to political issue ase koi gana internationally acknowledged koi gana thaka laga ekta issue ase. Itu pura ami khan laga Naga leaders, Naga national workers, itu khan laga gumjur nimite ami khan laga Naga political aspiration aro Naga struggle to ami khan butnam nokro lage koi gana. Aro it is inherent in the human character that we judge people by their ability. Ami kan manu laga dunia laga nim tu ami kan manu ke judge kure takot pra dun sun pra nohle gao sao pra nohle number pra ole bi iso pra tu invisible qualities sukhu pra dekhiwo napara ami kan laga monte safa asen nai ami kan mon tu sida asen nai koi gena isor pra tu khali ituke sai ami kan Nagaland for Christ solemn oath lekena thakise itu pra once again kiman differences thaki gena bi ami kan martyrs kan Naga nimite sacrifice kura kan itu kan ke respect kuri gena aha laga future generation kan nimite bapna kuri gena nijor laga monjur to rakhi thaki gena isro laga face de sai gena mon safa kuri gena mon sida kuri gena ekbar aro Naga ke bachawo nimite mon mili gena kam kuri jawone ki koi gena ami kan working committee NNPG laga nam pra sob ke salam dia ase aro khushi pra itu time loi dia ase. Thank you so much and kuknalim.
Ami khan sob bacha khan ase. We have sons and daughters. We are giving them education. So we have to start their life. Ki pra start kurbo. Thousands of Naga boys and girls are coming out, passing out from their different colleges and universities. Iman daha so holebi government, state government cannot give them white collar job. They are hardly observing, giving them job hardly 100 or 200. Only 1,000 to go job. They have to go for business. Business job lagibo. Many peoples, many boys and girls, they are very determined to run the self-employed service kurbole, I mean business kurbole tati jai. Only be one set thing, I mean can complain receive kura tu kya se. Itu kan sob baba kan tu parents kan tu dun man hoy to. So they are taking bank loan. Bank loan loi kena business chole ase. One fellow he came to us. Yes sir. Ami parents to ami ke sponsor kurbo nore. So I took loan, 5 lakhs loan from the bank. I started my business. Hole bi ita initial stage ase income to 1,000 per day, 1,000 2,000 ula ase. Hole bi after starting my business tax manga to 20 plus fraction hi tax mangshe. Tita kunuba 1,000 manga se, kunuba 5,000 manga se, kunuba 10,000 manga se. Tita ami laga earning to 1,000 ase, 2,000 ase, kot pride bo. Ami thar guru ke ne tu khan ke di thagbo ne ki. Aur ami laga loan pe recover kurbo nora ita ekdum problem te ase itu issue khan to hole take up kuri dibo lage bile inika aise. Tinika bisha ase de. Ami khan to Naga mano public khan baja khan nimti khali itu nimti kwa nai to. Freedom fighters, you have your children's, ministers and MLAs, officers, civil society, come Korakhan, you all have your own sons and daughters. You have given them education, but where? Kot jabo tai khan, education badi Chinese proverb ti koi, if you plant for century, give them education, give the education to your children. Whatever education that we have to start, they have to start their life. Whatever I can start, I'm can kati dile kinika uchibo. Itu karni. I mean, Nscn, you khali itu kan logo kwa naide. I'm speaking in general. Faction kimana asa Nagaland. Sob itu huni bole kwa asa. Sob nimiti kwa asa. Khali public laga baja khan hoye. Apni khan laga baja khan pe ase. And we are speaking and we are fighting for all the Naga upcoming generations. So Naga Council Dimapur, it is not yet declared, but we have map road for upcoming Naga generation to protect them, to protect their business, so that itu kan hi bahal ha picheti hi ami kan society to smooth hobo. Economically, ami kan sound hobo like. Economy sound hoile, you are independent. But when your economy is not sound, anti-social elements hi bishi ulai jabo. Itu karni, ami kan kita itu road map aibo, kita itu program aibo. That time we are reaching all the factions when this program comes up. Itu nimiti. Ita pre-information has sob itu monti rakhi ke na. Ami kan laga duty to protect the younger generation, upcoming generation. Itu kan ke protect di ke na, tai kan ke uchibo dile Naga economy to hole ini uchibo la se. Itu nimiti. With these few words, I, on behalf of the Naga Council, share our program and our opinion. So with this, I thank you all once again. Kuknalim.
Respected village guardians, headmen and elders, ladies and gentlemen, as we commemorate 17th year of Naga Unification, I extend my warm greetings and welcome everyone assembled here. Friends, in the revolutionary history of Naga nationalism, the past 17 years of the Gprn and Nscn unification is a chapter to be inscribed in special letters, because even in the midst of chaos and brutal facridical acts, Gprn and Nscn has stood tall, celebrating each year the rebirth of Naga consciousness, reconciliation and unity among Naga political groups. We have played important role with our partners in the working committee and NNPGs. We had political negotiations with government of India and successfully concluded the talks. Gprn and Nscn has always been very active to the idea of genuine Naga unity and reconciliation organized by the Church, FNR, and apex tribal bodies. Standing here before you, I confidently say that Gprn and Nscn exist to fulfill the hope of the Naga fraternity for a stable geopolitical territory where the Nagas and non-Nagas within and around will coexist in perfect harmony and move shoulder to shoulder with the rest of the world. The word insurgency no longer denotes to Naga political issue. In the agreed position, the phrase political and historical rights of the Nagas has replaced all abominable terms which demean the Nagas and their just struggle. The entities have negotiated and focused on the administrative and political considerations, among others. GOI has acknowledged the universal principle of the right to self-determination of the peoples and nations, and Nagas too must consider the political realities of the day. This understanding is the key and focal point. The Naga legitimacy through agreed position is absolutely clear in the considerations of India and Indian and South Asian conflict scenarios. As we have taken up the matters, the regional and global perception too will change.
It underlines the need for a new political synthesis and philosophy. A people's struggle and conflict stage long for sovereign independent nationhood always has historical and political basis. GOI has acknowledged it. Mahatma Gandhi, on the eve of Indians' independence, was absolutely clear about the right of the Nagas. This truth cannot be erased by any goodwill gesture. We base our argument on facts of history. A new foundation has to emerge in order to create powerful vision for the future. The present arrangement cannot sustain. Nagas are drawn in the whirlpool of social, economic, and political liabilities and impoverishment, dancing to the tune of others. This has to change. The Naga youth today need institutions to achieve self-reliance with an effective, self-sustainable fiscal business and management regimen, acquire professional excellence in technological and managerial education. Our planning and delivering systems should rely on techno-economic forecasting models to create a world of our own. Social and political awareness and the right to reciprocate and react to matters of public concern should be guaranteed through a fair political environment. 17 years ago prior to that, Naga intelligentsia and the societal institution was much fragmented, which led to the divide among the principal actors in the revolutionary movement. Individualistic and personal agendas could not sustain Naga movement, and so a genuine unity movement was necessitated, which led to the formation of Nscn Unification, which was declared on 22nd November 2007. Mushrooming faction is still a huge cause of concern, but the silver lining is that there is clarity on who is working for Naga Nation and who is self-enrichment in the name of Naga movement. Every national worker must understand that seniority, position, and status gain over the year is to strengthen the resolve and commitment to serve the nation, not build own castle and threaten our benefactors. Failure to follow this revolutionary principle will eventually force the people to face out selfish and inconsiderate leaders. Dear friends, from 2017 onward, with the formation of working committee and NNPGs, a huge responsibility was given to me to coordinate with various groups, governments, and the concerned in the Union of India. As we sat across the table, we could get a clear picture of what had been going till then. Negotiation table cannot be taken as a platform to argue, debate, or give lecture on history every time. Neither is it a platform to break, threaten others with international connections and what political and military damage one could inflict upon India. A principled historical stand, putting forth people's practical demand, will, and desire on the negotiating table is a higher degree of political immaturity and commitment at this hour. Former GOI interlocutor Mr. R.N. Ravi declared to working committee delegation that he will accept anything in writing form and that all matters of negotiations would be done on the table verbally. It was a rude shock. We insisted we wanted everything to be put on record, to which the interlocutor said it is for the government of India to decide, since others, probably referring to Nscn, were in a habit of conducting negotiations unrecorded and in verbal mood. Working committee and NPGs had to stress for a healthy deliberations on all issues, very confrontative at times, but eventually the talks evolved and everything was officially put on record for reference and clarification in future. The political rights of the Nagas were addressed to be taken in totality, right from the unwritten periods of oral traditions, memorandum, to the Simon Commission, to the ceasefire agreement of 6 September 1964, to 6 rounds of negotiation that started in 7 October 1967, taken to be among the holistic historicity of the Nagas. In the eyes of the GOI, the only binding agreement in the considerations was the 16-point agreement, which the Working Committee and NNPGs outrightly rejected. The government of India refused to accept the 1951 plebiscite on the grounds of technicalities. But for the Nagas, it denotes the will and determination and a turning point in their history. The holistic history of the Nagas, both written and unwritten, needed the absolute recognition together with the history of Indo-Naga wars after 14 August 1947. This is specifically inscribed in the agreed position of 17 November 2017. The government of India recognizes the historical and political rights of the Nagas to self-determine their future in consonance with their distinct identity. Thus, a new beginning was set into motion. We had to do it systematically without affecting the integrity and political configuration of India as well. Therefore, a relationship that is honorable, enduring, and an inclusive, peaceful coexistence with due regard to contemporary political realities was acknowledged as practical route. We are thankful to the prominent political observers, intellectuals, legal luminaries from Nagaland and mainstream India, including the former judges of the Supreme Court of India, our senior administrative cadres, political leaders, former legislators, retired bureaucrats, tribal leadership, NGBF, Students Federation, and civil society members for shaping the status paper and agenda for political negotiations in accordance with the agreed position. It runs into volumes and will be printed and documented for academic and political purposes. Each and every subject deliberated and amended are in the records. Before sitting across the table for negotiations, we had to look at the political and institutional structure of India, how the entire system works, the political philosophies, policy making, and integrated functioning of the constitutional mechanism that drives the entire apparatus of India. A strong bureaucracy and a judicial system with an extensive political systems are a core of nation's asset at the negotiation table. We may see only the GOI interlocutor or a representative, but what holds him and surmounts he is to be understood. The GOI and the Nscn and IM talks and the framework agreement appear to be a non-disclosure documents, or rather undocumented parleys. Negotiations from 1997 to 2015 had failed to do justice to the Naga. Everyone was shrouded to mystery save for a single-page framework agreement. Against this background, what was left before NNPGs was to create a carefully devised alternative to counter every stand of the government of India on the matter of political integration, alternative mechanism of amalgamation on matters excluding legislative domains, cultural integration, and other ways were deliberated. Integration is all about merger of other Naga areas with Nagaland. It involves several political processes and resolving several conflicts. Naga areas of Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh have several complications on their own. Most of these areas are backward with no infrastructure and connectivity, and other increments of development are yet to reach these areas. It needs much planning and economic growth levels to bring in economic integration. Towards this, the first step had to be separation of administration and legislature by creating new statutory bodies. Meanwhile, other sentimental and emotional issues and matters confronting other tribes within and adjoining areas have to be settled. To step into such a process, territorial councils for Naga areas of Arunachal Pradesh and Assam has been agreed into the settled position between Government of India and NNPGs. We do not accept the sixth schedule of the Constitution of India, and the reasons have been made clear why the territorial councils need a separate political structure that is not linked in any manner with that of autonomous council. Nagaland state was formed through a systematic process that took time. Naga People's Convention in August 1957 adopted the resolution for forming a separate administrative area by merging the Naga Hill district then under Assam and the Twin Sun Frontier Division of NEFA. This resolution was accepted by the Government of India through the NSTA Act in 1957. The Government of India itself created the new administrative area of Naga Hills Twin Sun area. The 16-point agreement was signed 3 years later in 1960. The Constitution was commanded to create a state in 1962. Nagaland became a reality in 1963. To form Nagaland, then in the 1950s, it took over 6 years. Naga integration is our people's legitimate right. Unfortunately, this is now a mere slogan to buy political relevance and create false hope. Had there been genuine political will and effort with proper system and structure, 27 years back, integration would have been a reality by now. Nothing happens instantly at the stroke of a pen. Officially on status paper of the GOI and the Working Committee and NPGs, the Government of India has agreed to constitute a high-power, empowered committee as per the agreed positions so as to work out the traditional boundaries of the Naga areas. Today, the process of integration of the Naga areas has been set into motion. We feel the sense of belonging, dedication, and commitment to our ancestral lands. It is also a reality that Nagaland belongs to the 17 indigenous Naga tribes and indigenous non-Naga tribes and settlers as on 1st December 1963. Any matter on the political or customary affairs of these 17 Naga tribes will be decided by mutual understanding within themselves. Nagas of Nagaland cannot interfere or decide on the affairs of the Nagas of Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh. In the same way, our customary system prohibits intervention of other Naga tribes from Manipur or Arunachal Pradesh intervening in our political rights or customary matters. We must avoid irritation, intrusion, or coercion on land economy or governance. Our history and culture taught us to express brotherhood and solidarity during testing times. A separate form of government, constitution, defense forces, foreign affairs, flag are matters incidental to a sovereign independent nation. Such a political consideration of sovereign independent nation has to be written in black and white in any text of agreement. It was the toughest task for NNPGs to undo the damages done earlier in the agreement, so stated to have been made on 3rd of August 2015. The self-determination of the Nagas lies in the Naga identity, absolute control over the land, its resources, customary laws, practices, and procedures. The sovereign power of the Nagas remains vested in the independent federal system of villages and territories of each Naga tribe. Therefore, a clear separation of the legislative powers from that of the Parliament of India has to be the first step towards achieving the vision of Naga nation. Towards this, the negotiation had led to the establishment of an appropriate legislative system in Nagaland. The bicameral legislature of Tatar Hoho will have an upper house of the Naga customary system called the Nagaland Federal Hoho and the democratically elected lower house called Lesi Hoho. This would be the appropriate legislature for all the matters that concerns the affairs of the Nagas. Nagas will have an insignia and Naga flag will be a part of the customary system of the Nagas. A separate page will be inserted in the Indian passport for the Nagas to reflect our identity on the free movement regime, FMR. Exemption will be made on the Indian passport for the indigenous people on both sides of the Indo-Myanmar border. The 1962 Indo-Myanmar border agreement can be reviewed by the Nagaland Tatar Hoho. In the present scenario, Nagas must put our heads together and deliberate. We must retrieve our historical and political rights. through an effective political mechanism. Friends, we all know the principles and objective of Nscn unification was well laid on 22nd of November 2007 at the Old Showuba Village conclave under Newland District. The trust agreement signed between the then Kilonser of Nscn Camp, Mr. Sesin Son, and the Kilonser of Nscn IM, Mr. Ajeto Chopi, has withstood the test of time. The scope to create a wider platform to negotiate with Government of India became a reality with the formation of Nscn unification. We are stepping into the second quarter of the 21st century. Naga society has undergone a series of socio-political transition during the past 2 centuries. 19th century marked the beginning of external interventions, conflicts, and getting adapted to the contemporary administrative and political systems. Christianity as a religion and Christian mode of education entered the Naga society and consciousness. Dear friends, the Naga revolutionary movement was set into motion in order to achieve the objectives of absolute sovereignty and to emerge as a full-fledged nation of the Nagas. The ceasefire agreement of 1964 and the negotiation with Mrs. Indira Gandhi stands as a milestone in the whole political scenario where the negotiation reached the status of a protectorate nation like Bhutan. In 1967, India was still in the days of political infancy and reorganization of the states was not complete. 3 decades later, by 1997, when the NSA and IM entered into the ceasefire agreement, India had become a powerful country with a global standing. The ceasefire agreement, when it was signed abroad, failed to include the required parameters, including third country mediation, intervention of international organizations so as to achieve the objective of Naga nationalism. The Amsterdam Communique too could not set the agenda for negotiated settlement on integration of Naga areas and absolute sovereignty. The 3rd August 2015 made the Naga political issue an internal matter of the Government of India. This is a fact. The Government of India and NSN IM deliberated the signing of the framework agreement with the Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister, NSA, Deputy NSA, the interlocutor, and the core of NSN IM leadership did attend the ceremony to celebrate granting Naga integration, Naga flag, and Naga Constitution outside the Union of India. Explaining 100 times wouldn't give you an answer. Soon after, the people of Nagaland heard utterances like Nagaland will cease to exist. Mistakes committed by anyone in the process must be admitted. Naga integration has to begin from the heart, not forced or dictated. Attitudes of dictatorship and domination will not pay dividends in a political initiative. I pray and hope that a new, vibrant, harmonious, peaceful time will dawn on the Naga people. I assure and guarantee our people that the Gprn and unification will walk that extra mile to forge an enduring partnership with all Naga entities and leaders willing to forego personal ambitions. We must return to our roots and live by revolutionary ethics. Naga revolutionary leaders cannot act like fraudulent gold prospectors or property developers. In doing so, one will only attract and entice habitual thefts, scoundrels, social outcasts, and restless mercenaries, while driving away genuine and committed national workers. Once again, I thank you all for your presence and patient hearing. God bless us all. Kuk Nalim.
Nagaland TV, Sop Manulaga Awas. Watch us live on Geo TV and on your television sets as well. For Dimapur viewers, we are on channel number 994 in Global Chapter, and Kohima and Mokokchung viewers, switch to channel number 138 on Hon'ble Digital. For all news and updates, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.